Hey folks, it is me, Duke CT, and this, as you look at the title screen, is a non-spoiler review of The Man of Steel, aka the new Superman movie. And I have to say, bravo! It is a great movie. It delivers on hype, and honestly, it had not only had a lot of hype, but it had a lot of pressure on it. I mean, not only you have to revive not one, the Superman franchise, but also be the launching pad, supposed launching pad of the Justice League movie. And this thing came out, it knocked it out of the park, man. It knocked it out of the park, and I am happy to say that because I love Superman. I loved Superman since I watched his old stuff way back when I was a little kid. Those old theatrical sorts of Superman. Oh man, when I was a little kid watching them on I think Cartoon Network, and then really liking them, and then the Superman animated series by Bruce Timm. I love that. It was I really hope that's why I really hope for this movie to do well. Because again, I want this movie to do well. I want this movie to do well. Not only make a lot of money, not because of Justice League movie, because I still believe a Justice League movie, and by that, hopefully, I make finally DC, Warner Brothers can get off their ass and start making a Wonder Woman movie. Damn it, a good one. Stuff like this. I truly hope. This film gives me hope that DC and Warner Brothers finally got it. They finally made a great film without Batman, which is a miracle in itself. Because the last time they had a movie that wasn't about Batman, yeah, it didn't do well. I'm going to be talking about that later in an upcoming review. But this is not the time to bash. It's the time to give props. And I have to give props to Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan, and scripted by David S. Goyer. Those three guys did a great job making this film as great as it is. And the pacing and the acting and pacing of this film, they really did a great job. It's only 3 minutes long. It's in, it's out, bam, it's perfect, and it's like I said, it's very well paced. And I have to say, Henry Cavill does a great job as Superman, as a Kryptonian who's sent down to Earth and raised among us as his Superman, and raised on us as Clark Kent, aka Kal-El, and the last surviving member of a dying planet, Krypton. And then he becomes Superman to protect his Earth and its people. And honestly, he does a great job here in Cavill. And I don't want to bitch slap Brandon Routh, because I think Brandon Routh did a pretty decent job as Superman. Superman Returns. And funny thing though, Cavill was going to be in the role, was considered the role for Superman in the 2006 film Superman Returns, but lost the part to Brandon Routh, which again I think he did a pretty decent job. He was just surrounded with a very crap movie and just trying so hard to recreate the 80s and the old 70 movie, 79, and the sequel Superman 1 and 2 without being its own film. But that's just my personal opinion about Superman Returns. But honestly, Henry Cavill does a very good job as Superman. Also, Amy Adams as Lois Lane does. I really think she did a very good job as well. She basically she does a very good job, Lois Lane. She encapsulates her character as Lois Lane very well. And the funny thing is, the list of actors that could have been in this film, Kristen Stewart's name came up, and thank God they chose Amy Adams. Whew. Now, Kristen Stewart, I like you. No, I don't really like. No, you're just not a good actress. No, you're not at all. Sorry. But speaking of good actors, Michael Shannon as General Zod. Kneel before Zod. Sadly, he doesn't say that in the film. I bet they had a cut to him saying that, but no, they didn't say it. He didn't say kneel before Zod. That's a bit disappointing. I know they wanted to do something new, but man, there was a couple scenes that he could have said it. But they didn't. But he didn't say it. Ugh, pissed me off. Especially to that last fight scene with him and Superman, which was great. I loved that last fight scene. And the funny thing is, Michael Shannon was not the first pick, but Viggo Mortensen was considered for the role as General Zod. But you know what? Michael Shannon did a very good job as a Kryptonian general who basically had thoughts of grandeur to take over Krypton and basically take over Earth as well. Kevin Costner and Diane Lane played Jonathan and Martha Kent. I really like that. Both of those characters, they did a pretty good job. Both of them as well. Lawrence Fishburne, Perry White, I don't know, he was just there. I hope they put him more in the sequel because Perry White really is a central figure as the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet, or what have you. And also that Lawrence Fishburne is the first African American to play Perry White in a live-action film. And funny thing is, he actually modeled the character of his version of Perry White as the late Ed Bradley, who was a CBS correspondent of 60 Minutes or what have you. And it does show in this performance as a very tough newsman. Well, also, I can't leave out Russell Crowe as Jor-El. Very good job, Russell Crowe. He does a great job in this part. Funny thing is, Sean Penn and Clive Owen was going to be in that role. I think Clive Owen. I wouldn't like Clive Owen, but I think Russell Crowe hits it as well. What have you? Really good idea. Very good with Jor-El. Great stuff. And honestly, this to me, and honestly, as a whole, Man of Steel is great. There's not much real flaws in the film. There's not much real anger stuff. Sure, some of the actors I think could have done. I think there could have been more a pronounced role in the films, like Richard Schiff as Dr. Emil Hamilton. I felt like he could have done his work more. He was basically a glorified cameo, which is nice, but I felt like he could have had more to do with the character. But at least it had some. You know what? At least they put him in there. It was a nice cameo, but hopefully they'll do something more. Hopefully they bring up Star Labs and what have you, and also. In the movie, there's a somewhat of a Lex Luthor cameo or what have you, but I'm not going to say. It's just very interesting. And it looks like let me just say that I think they're finally going in direction of what the comics and the TV shows with Lex Luthor. I'm just saying. He's not going to be the the person with the real estate ideas again. Anyway, though, but I really loved it, especially that last fight scene. The fight scenes were great, and I am happy to give you the news that Man of Steel is a great movie. You won't regret it at all. And hopefully you enjoyed this non-spoiler review. This is Dude CT here. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.